What do they look like?
Well, they'll probably be the most talented team that we've played since Ohio State. Big and physical up front, dynamic skill guys, at receiver and at running back. And then, you got a quarterback that was the ACC Rookie of the Year, and he's playing and having a great year. You watch them and just you see what you've seen all the years we played in Miami, just a fast, athletic, physical, dynamic talent.
They have the elements for passing and the elements from running, talent-wise. Do they seek to be balanced, or do you notice?
I'd say they are. They're running it for, I'm not for sure the exact numbers, but enough. And that's one thing we've got to do. Last year they came in and ran all over us. And I'm sure they want to do the same thing. Right now they're going to feel like they're 0-1 in the league, and they've got to get back right. I know their staff, they're going to be frothing at the mouth to come out and play, but so do we. And we need to be able to match that and be physical and play fast and execute ourselves. But they're a talented team that, I think the Kaya kid has got a big league arm, accurate, and he can throw it down the field. But then they also have the front that they're athletic, and the backs that are athletic that they stretch you and do a great job with the upcuts and things. So we got to do a great job of leveraging our gaps and those types, which we didn't do a very good job of last year.
You talked about Kaya. He didn't have a big role in last year's game because they ran so well. What have you seen out of him this year that's better than last year?
Well, I see a guy that's just so much farther along, just with his poise. They weren't going to let him last year in our game, kind of like BC has in the last, when they, a couple of years ago. We're going to let him beat them, So they came out and ran the ball, took the pressure off of him, and did some things unique-wise, blocking, knowing about our edge pressures and different things. But they established the run, and we were just kind of, we weren't very good up front last year when it was all said and done. Didn't tackle very well, didn't secure our gaps, and they didn't need him a whole lot when they needed to. But he made some throws when they needed to too. So, we're hoping we can hold up in the run game and, maybe put it on his shoulders at the end of the day.
What have you been doing at the two safety spots? Are those kids, Alexander, is he playing both spots a little bit?
No, we're in certain looks, in man free, we like him being a guy that he's a good tackler in space. He's got great range, as you guys can see, and go get the ball. And, but in certain things, Chuck's still our free safety and he's our rover, and there's just certain experiences, particularly in the one-back running stuff, that Chuck's more comfortable probably being down, and Adonis does a great job, in space and making plays in space right now.
Is this a game with those young guys in the secondary that's going to test them as much as?
I'm sure it will. Yeah, as much as we've been tested so far, we will, because they'll take some shots, and particularly with we've got young corners and we've got a young nickel, so yeah, I'm sure they'll do some of those things.
Did you sense at all some frustration at all from Daddy? Just, I know you stress pressure and making quarterbacks move and making them uncomfortable, but just the fact that he doesn't have the lack of sacks.
Yeah, he might be frustrated, but he hasn't shown it a whole lot. And the other night he had some great pressure that led to some sacks. And. He's also got I think Charlie's done a great job of letting him understand that, he may not have got the sack, but he was the reason the sack was made, So, that's part of being a team and team player. But I'm sure individually, particularly with everything that's, all the hype going into the year, I'm sure, he's disappointed with the numbers. But, it still comes back down. We got to, just playing hard and being consistent, and it'll take care of itself in the end.
I know you guys never played. Do you ever cross paths with Steve Spurrier in your career?
I've not played against him, but talked to him several occasions, and so, yeah.
What do you think of him as a
Well, I think he's a great football coach. He's had a great career. Hate to see a guy go in the middle of the season like that, but and I don't know all the circumstances why, but the guy's. His record speaks for himself for what he's done, and. Obviously what he did at Duke, what he did at Florida, and then, taking the South Carolina program and, taking it to a level, he's done some things that some other coaches haven't done at those places. So I think that makes a big statement. So, I know he's a personality. You know, I know the people will miss him. He'll probably be on talk shows and stuff before long, but, you know, wish him the very best.
How happy are you that Duke Johnson's playing on Sundays instead of
Well, it's good for him. I mean, you know, it's he's that kind of back, but we're not concerned about him now. We've got a couple guys there in the backfield that are dynamic and very similar, and there's not a very much drop off from, you know, their tailback position this year from last year.
How long did it take you to successfully pronounce Matua Puaka?
A week,
A week.
Probably. It was probably a week.
Matt Brown called him Matuka Puka.
I heard.
whole broadcast.
I never did see, but you know. So you guys have done a great job with him. So.
What'd you think?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was really good. No question.
First off, Corey Marshall, what's up with him?
Well, he pulled his hamstring first play of the game against Pitt and wanted to go back in the second half, but tried it, couldn't go. And that's one of those things, you know, I'm hoping he can practice tomorrow. Woody's been playing well, but give us depth and, you know, Corey brings a lot to the table. We just need to get him back healthy.
We ask you this every year, I think, before a Miami game, but do you do anything to dial back Luther and Daddy so they're not too hyped, or do you want them to be?
Well, no, they get ready to play. Everybody gets ready to play the way they get ready to play. I don't get involved with that. You know, now, you know, they should be. I mean, they kicked our butt last year. You know, they rushed the football for whatever they ran at 300 yards, and you know, it wasn't close. So, you know, we've got an opportunity, and that last year didn't have anything to do with this year. We know that, and but we've got to be ready to play. Their personnel's great. I mean, they got good people and very good looking team on film, and the backs and the offensive line, the athleticism. They're good.
I know sacks aren't the end all thing, but Daddy still has none. Do you have to say anything to him to keep his spirits up with that?
No, he's self-motivated. You know, we've gotten. Daddy is really playing well. If you turn the video on, I mean, he's showing up around the football, and you know, he's fell off a couple sacks the other night. He fell off one. He got kind of pushed by on his hip on the other one. He's getting around the quarterback. I'd like for him, you know, to get a sack where he can move on. We can move on about it, but he's, you know, he's got his hands are kind of sore too. You know, he's got hand issues. And that might be, you know, something with his grip, you know, that he can't finish. But it's time to finish on the quarterback, although we've been, you know, fairly productive, I think, the last couple of games, you know, in getting to the quarterback and, you know, hopefully getting teams where they have to throw the football, you know, not being in a position where they can run it on 3rd and long, you know, have to throw the ball, have to catch up, you know, that kind of thing. All right.
When you look at the talent offensively that Miami has, where does it scare you is the wrong word, but you know what I mean, where does it sort of alarm you the most?
Well, they got 2 great running backs. They got, you know, 3 or 4 receivers that can beat you deep and that are just productive. So they're Miami. The quarterback's playing at a high level. They just, you know, threw for 400 yards on Florida State. So I mean, they're an impressive offense.
I know you were particularly impressed by ECU's receivers, you guys as a group, it sounds like, but Scott, Waters, and Coley, the most dangerous trio that you've faced or that you might see this season?
I'd say so. They're right up there. Ohio State didn't have all their guys healthy, so I'd say with that being the case, yes. Those guys are all very productive. I know you said the names, but 3-6 are extremely fast, look very fast, and 11, he's their leading receiver. He's got the most targets, and he's very talented, and all those guys made plays versus Florida State last game.
What do you think of how those young guys in the secondary have done now that they've sort of had a couple games to get acclimated to it?
Well, they're starting to make the progression you hope they would make. Is it going to be to the level where we can go on the road and beat Miami is now the next part. I thought we made great strides versus North Carolina State. And if we can continue to do that, we'll have a chance to be a pretty good secondary and be successful.
Does the group sort of have to get over the initial shock of not having Kendall? I mean, I can imagine that came as a blow to everybody there.
I think so. I think that first game versus Pitt, you're young and you're adjusting, and and all those things. And then last week we seemed to be more settled down and have a little bit more understanding. And now we know we can do some things, and hopefully we can move forward and be a good group.
It looked like Brenden had a pretty
I wouldn't say it's necessarily a different role. We work together as a unit. Always, it's never about me. It's never about Chuck. It's never about Terrell. It's always about us and what we can do to make each other better. So, my role doesn't change. We're all pretty vocal guys. We all like to talk and encourage each other. So, week in, week out, we're doing that job to keep pressing and be that great defensive back.
You went through the whole, plan early, and what advice do you give Terrell? What kind of things do you talk to him about at that corner spot?
Just stay focused, don't let the stage be too big. Just stay focused. Don't worry about outside media sources, anything like that. Just continue to do you, continue to keep pushing hard in practice and, better yourself each and every day.
Is that something that you did well from day one, or did you learn that your freshman year?
It was something I had to learn, week in, week out. It's all about the next week. The next game is the most important game, and that's something I had to learn. So I guess that's what we all have to do as a group.
We hear that a lot. Next game is the most important, but the idea of getting some momentum, and you guys did just get a big win. Do you feel like this game has sort of an extra importance, that you don't want it to be an up and down year again, that you want to show some consistency?
Every game is the next game. The next game is the most important game. We don't look at a certain game as being more important than the other one. We all try to win every single one of them. So by that standpoint, the next game is the most important game. So.
Torrian was saying you're on the boundary now. How different is that playing on that side versus where you were before?
It's different, but all in all, it's the same spot, same corner. You're still covering guys, so it's not really that much of a difference.
Do you feel yourself stepping into more of a leadership role with Kendall being out?
Yeah. With Kendall being out, he was a vocal guy. Great player. All of our brothers, and he's still here constantly. Helping us out. Giving putting his part into the program. He's still doing everything he can to help us out. He's doing a great job. We just need him healthy. Trying to come back too fast, but we need him healthy. And each and every we just move on. We don't move on, but we just keep focused and next guy up.
You look like you had your best game against NC State. Is that the best you felt this year for that game?
I would say so. I felt like we all played a great game, not just myself. If it wasn't for the defensive line, for the linebackers, and for the other guys covering, I couldn't have made the plays that I made.
Do you say anything?
And vice versa.
Do you say anything to those younger guys going down to a situation like Miami, where that might be the best passing offense you guys will face this year? You always gotta stay focused. That's all I can really tell them is stay focused. Everything that we do, day in, day out. Just try to progress yourself each and every day. So. How do you think those guys have done?
No, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of the same deal as last week. Taking it day by day. Actually starting to get hit a little bit this week. On the mats that we talked about might happen last week. Taking steps forward with that, and then more X-rays. See what the doctors think about it, and go from there.
A real question: were you surprised to not be cleared Friday, or did you go into it thinking they might not?
No, I felt really good for a while now. I worked really hard to get my range of motion and strength back. As soon as possible. I felt really good 3 weeks out of surgery, and then the rest of us, it's not up to me. It's the bone. Got to let the bone heal to where the doctors feel comfortable that it won't break again.
Was that something you found out on Friday right before the game, or did they tell you that ahead of time?
They told me that, hey, this is kind of, there's a chance that this might not look like you want it to, but there's a chance that it will. So, a day or two before the game, they looked. I got the X-rays. They looked at it and said no go.
Did you? I don't know if you say this kind of thing. Are you desperate enough to say, hey, it feels good, I can get in range of motion, just shoot me up and play? I mean, are you
Yeah.
the guy to say it kind of thing?
Yeah, I said that in the locker room right after it happened. I said, let's worry about surgery tomorrow. Let's stick this thing with a needle and get going with it. But, they assured me that wasn't a good idea. But, yeah, no, I mean, I've been pushing hard, trying to get back out there, trying to get cleared. It's just all up to the doctors and whether or not the x-ray looks good at this point.
Lefty said he would like to see you get into coaching at some point. Is that a path you would possibly pursue?
I don't know. I never really thought a whole lot about it. And then I guess this past 4 or 5 weeks, basically being a coach out there on the sideline, sometimes up in the box, it's been fun. You get to see it from a whole different perspective and coach quarterbacks. So, which is obviously something that I enjoy doing is playing quarterback and, now getting to coach it a little bit. Who knows? Maybe in the future that might be something that I do.
How did that little situation on the mat last week where you had to hit go and who hit you? Who were the folks there?
We just had go forth, basically, just pushing me, and I was practicing.
That's far.
Yeah, it just looked kind of awkward, just practicing falling, how it feels, all that, and then we kind of amped it up, throwing a pass and getting hit when I throw and stuff like that. So far so good though.
So if you can't take a hit from Goforth, you probably shouldn't be in the game, right?
Yeah, that's the moral of the story. Yeah.
I know you put in a lot of work with him in the offseason and throw to him this year, but what have you seen out of Isaiah Ford? How is he better this year than he was last year?
Well, he's stronger. He worked on his game all summer, all off season. I don't even know how many nights, how many times a week, but we came up here. Seems like just about every other night and worked on, throwing routes, timing, and he was, doing footwork drills, practicing getting in and out of cuts, always, working on his craft, and then obviously getting stronger in the weight room was a thing that helped him a lot, being able to, make it difficult for defenses to come up and just press him, and leave him on an island because, now you got to respect that. He's not a little skinny freshman anymore. Yeah, he's a guy who can be physical with you and can go up and make plays on you.
That was you. I mean, is he noticeably stronger to you? You just freshman last
well, you
year.
notice it when you notice it when you watch the film. Last year there were some times where he might get pushed around and veer off of his route, and now he's able to rip past people and use his hands, use his body to be effective down the field.
Didn't he do something weird like a backflip and catch a pass in the preseason or something like that?
He's always doing stuff like that. I've seen him do a couple of backflips. That makes me nervous. I don't like it when he does that.
You would have hated David Wilson then.
Yeah, I guess it's the old guy in the locker room. I feel I'm like the grandpa in there. I don't like it.
As the grandpa in there, then, when you see Edmonds and Coleman and McMillan's playing now instead of them, and they're the first guys down to celebrate with him when he scores, what do they bring in terms of being good teammates now that their role is a little bit less?
Oh, I mean, they're great teammates. It it just kind of speaks what this team's all about. Basically just win at all costs. It doesn't matter who's in the game, who's getting the reps. We work so hard all off season, in the spring and then in the summer. Been through a lot of highs and lows together with this team, and now we're all just about we want to make it to Charlotte and we want to go get a win there.
All right.
So, Coach was praising the talent of this Miami offense. When you look at them, what do you see?
They're really big offensive linemen, really athletic and move. Pretty predictable, but I mean, they have such a good personnel that they can get away with it.
Well, what do they do when you say predictable? What is their bread and butter?
I mean, you can just see by alignments and just by like their stances and stuff. You can tell what they're going to do. But we just got to do a good job and execute and play well.
They have talent in the passing game and talent in the run game. Do they aim to be balanced, or do you sense that their strength is more one or the other?
I mean, last year I think it depended on the run just because Kaya was a young passer. So, but they had a lot more trust in him this year. So I think they spread the ball out a lot more, and they also don't have Duke Johnson back out there. So, I think they're more balanced, but kind of leaning towards more passing.
So you got a sack. Do you have a little celebration after that to finally get it put behind you?
A little excited, but I mean, then in my head, ECU, the technicality. It was a sack fumble, so I'll credit myself with that. But if you guys don't count it, then I guess
It's not us.
it's whatever. But yeah, I mean, I was a little excited about that because that was my first clean sack or sack and a half. So I was really excited about that, and just looking forward to Daddy getting one soon.
I was gonna say, I mean, Daddy still doesn't have one. Does that wear on him at all? I mean, the coaches sound like they say he's playing well, just hasn't happened.
He is playing really well. He's just, I mean, his hand's just messed up. He has wide jam fingers, broken hand, and so he can't really wrap up like usually can. And that that quarterback last week, is a pretty big guy. Takes a lot to take him down. So, so I think he had like 5 quarterback pressures last game. So it was pretty impressive on that part. But I mean, he just has a tough time bringing him down.
As far as you know, is his other hand bothering him too? It sounded like from what Charlie was saying, he's just having a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, one hand's broken, the other one's just a lot of jam fingers. He has really long fingers, so I mean, they're just very open to getting jammed all the time.
Do you give him a hard time, or has it gone on long enough now that you like take it easy on him about not getting a sack?
I mean, I feel him though. I mean, so I mean, I understand where he's coming from. I mean, a lot of teams are playing us a lot differently. We face a lot of slot protection, so we don't really get that many opportunities to get like one-on-ones and stuff. So I mean, it's just a tough time. I mean, we're such a great defensive line that teams are just scheming us up on the passing game. So I know what he's going through, and I mean, it's just very understanding.
What are Luther and Daddy like during Miami?
So how important is it to, Coach, mentioned the phrase, build on that last win. Has that been a theme? Is that something that he imparts on you guys?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Every week, the game gets more and more important. Every game's important, so whatever momentum that we can take from the last game and, take on to the next game is good for us.
How did you come out of that game injury-wise? I mean, you were pretty banged up.
Oh, yeah, it's all part of the game, football. It happens sometimes. Body feels good. We had a couple days off, so body feels really good right now.
So you have a sleeve on your ankle down there. Is that okay? Or
It's all right. I had a little soreness, but other than that, it's been iced up for a couple days, rehab, feel good.
You had a sprained foot going into the game? That's what they said on TV?
No. I don't know where they got that from.
No? Did you go into the game 100%?
Yes.
Did you sprain it during the game?
Yeah, it was minor. It wasn't really, I wouldn't call it sprain. I honestly don't know what happened. There was some pain with it though, but right now it feels really good. It's fine.
Brewer said he was testing his collarbone by having Goforth hit him onto crash mat.
I heard about that. I didn't see that. I wish I would have. But we might see that later on in the week. But I don't know anything about that. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to catch that tomorrow though.
Is it safe to say that if you can't take a hit from Goforth, you probably shouldn't?
Oh yeah. Goforth might be a little too soft for this. I'm just playing. I'm playing.
How much does Isaiah Ford make your job easier?
Isaiah Ford is a great player. We like to give him the ball as much as possible, make plays for us. We have a lot of other playmakers on offense, though, in my eyes. So, but he is a really good player.
How much better is he this year than last year?
I think he's a lot better. He worked his butt off all summer. Me and Mike were in there a lot with him, just talking about where we'd like to see him more, what we'd like to see him do, and he's also giving us feedback of what he's looking for from us. So he's a really good player. He's worked his butt off, and he deserves what he's doing right now.
It seems like almost universally everybody has said he's worked his butt off this that summer and almost has his look on his face. Like it was, pretty amazing what he did. Was he the kind of guy that almost guilted other players into working harder because he was in there all the time, or is that overstating it?
Yeah, I mean, he always tries to grab as many receivers as he can. We always try to grab as many guys as we can to get extra work. But he's just one of those guys that take the initiative to go out there and, get that work. So on the weekends, other people are just trying to hang out, relax and stuff. He actually wants to, go run routes and go do things that make him better. So his mindset is definitely in the right place, and he will have a big future, I believe.
Have you seen him do that backflip where he catches the ball?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of his videos, I was the one that threw it to him. So he didn't want to put me in the video, though. He didn't want to give me credit.
Brewer said it makes him nervous.
Oh, yeah. Every time he does it, I am nervous. But as long as he lands it and doesn't mess anything up while he lands, I guess he can do it all he wants to.
He doesn't do that during the season, does he?
No, he hasn't done it yet. Last time I saw it was in the summertime, and he should probably keep it that way for now. So.
You mentioned the other playmakers. Do you feel like teams are doing something with Bucky Hodges that it's making it easier maybe for the other guys, but taking Bucky away?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you double team one guy, somebody else on the field has to be open. Whether it be Bucky, Isaiah, a tight end, another tight end that we have, Cam, it doesn't matter. If you double team somebody else has to be open.
Do you think, and it's just a guess, I guess, but the 3 touchdowns with Ford, does that give other defenses more to think about now as opposed to just being like, all right, we're going to double Hodges?
I mean, I think Isaiah, some of those plays, he was just, he was in the right place at the right time. But I'm not taking any credit away from him and what he did. But I mean, it's tough. I think we have some great guys outside that can catch the ball, make plays for us, and run.